Come on. I want to fucking throw up. I'm just gonna throw up. I don't know anymore, man. And we've already been to the eggs. There's nothing there. I just don't know. I just don't know. It sucks to ride the high of Quantum Moon and have so much cool shit, but then none of it's actually useful for the rest of what I've been stuck on. And then I just get aggressively stuck on the rest of it. It's just, it's a bummer of a way for the session to go. What's new? Did it say something was new on Trans Deep? And why isn't it showing up in this mode? Oh, ocean depths. I passed through the electric barrier and reached the core force of the planet's core. Okay, yeah. Sure did. What was that last one? Always arrive at the South Pole for reasons unknown. Yeah, okay, cool. Feldspar's camp. Feldspar's alive. They crashed their ship and is now camping inside a huge anglerfish skeleton. Feldspar doesn't think my scout tracker is wrong when it says my scout is in two places at once. They have a theory that space doesn't work the same inside Dark Bramble. Feldspar doesn't sound overly eager to return to civilization. They've been enjoying the relative peace and quiet. 103, Nomai escape pods never made it out. Nomai warped to the solar system trying to find a signal. It crashed somewhere in Dark Bramble. The warp core broke when it crashed in Dark Bramble. Oh, I can mark location on HUD? Okay, I've got another theory that I do not expect to lead anywhere, but it's one of those things of, gotta know. I didn't realize you could mark these in your HUD until literally just now, so that's how today is going. Yeah, I really don't expect this to be anything, but I'm going to try it. I may be thinking, why would you do this? It's heading to the same thing. In fact, hang on. I'm actually going to deselect Feldspar's camp. Got a plan. I have no idea if it's good, but I've got a plan. I also just realized I have an alternate plan. We'll do one thing at a time. Because I'm realizing something that perhaps people have been screaming at me for the past 20 parts. And if it works, I'll feel kind of dumb I didn't think of it earlier, but also... it could backfire. We'll do plan 1 first, because it's the least risky of our plans, I think. And I'll explain it as soon as... Well, actually, not quite yet. Easy there, easy there. I just want to get in this little tiny seedling thing. Okay, so until now, I have been going to the one on the left since it's closest. The one in the middle still scares me because it's in the middle of a bunch of other lights. However, if I actively choose the one I don't usually choose, and the scout really is in multiple places at once, there's a chance that the scout might be postmarking multiple things for me to explore instead of just Feldspar's camp. That's what I'm currently thinking. Could be super out of pocket. We're gonna see. I have a feeling this won't work, but I do really want to test it. Okay, yeah, this looks like Feldspar's camp again. Alright, so that one didn't work, but that's okay. At least we're in a slightly safe area. You're sure there's nothing more you can teach me, Feldspar? My sibling in Christ. Where should I explore here? The fact that Feldspar tells us that once we've already found them makes me think I am supposed to find other seeds like this one and shoot it in, but I haven't found any other ones, I don't think. Okay. Alright, I have another idea that's either going to be genius or quite bad. And just double check. If we shoot you in through a different angle, do you still come out the same way? Yeah, off he goes. Or here he comes, more like, but... Okay, interesting. That does make an interesting little soaring noise, doesn't it? Alright. Time to test our dumb theory. If we can find an exit. We might not be able to find an exit. In fact, let's head back to the light. This is the one way we know how to get to an exit. Let's find the shipwreck. And then head past it. Somewhere around here should be an exit. Okay, well, there's a wall. So obviously if I hug the wall, I'll eventually find something, right? Yes, this looks like it might maybe be it. Okay, let's head to the red. Okay. Alright, sure are a lot of bright lights here, huh? So here's my dumb idea. The scout makes a little bit of noise. I've been so focused on never make any noise, they haven't thought about maybe make a little bit of intentional noise sometimes. I don't know if that's a good idea, because I think shooting the scout out probably, the cannon noise probably gives off a little sound as well. But what's the worst that could happen? I get eaten again? Yeah, and then I'm gonna cry and throw up. Okay, so they don't give a fucking shit about the scout, so that was a bad idea. Now I just have to pray I don't bump into the fucking angler. Okay. The trick seems to be intentionally, like when you spawn into this area, it will just put you exactly where you need to go. Ah, the eggs. Okay, so here's another idea. If they don't care about the scouts, in a weird way, that's also useful to me. So, for one thing, I know the eggs are weirdly pretty safe. You'd think they'd be mad that I'm messing with their nest, but in my experience so far, it is a nice central area where they just won't bother me. As long as I've still tried to stay very, very quiet and careful through it. So I'm not going to give up on that. But let's just theorize here. If we're looking for stuff, right? That's what we're doing. We are looking for stuff. So in theory, I don't think they would want me to just explore complete nothingness, avoiding the lights at all costs. Logic tells me I should do that. I should avoid the lights at all costs. But in terms of trying to find stuff on Dark Bramble, I don't think that's what it's asking me to do. So, I think in the same way that Feldspar's camp was a decoy light, I am curious if some of these lights are also decoy lights. And if the fish don't care about the scouts, I can scout with the scouts, can't I? I can go ahead and shoot that out and see. Okay, yeah, that's a fucking fish. So I won't. Weirdly, it does. It's not moving, is it? It does look like it's very slightly moving, but I don't think it's getting any closer. Okay, so. Not that one. That one's a fish. Don't go close to that one. But if any of these is a decoy, I can figure that out with the scout. And I'll try not to actually hit it this time, because that was scary. That's a seed. That's a seedling. Okay, so I can actually go towards that one. Still keep it slow, but I can do that. See, and this one does not look like a bunch of stars. This looks like one very big bright light. Oh, never mind. Fuck me. Of course. I was about to say, oh, but the music is chilling out at least. Nope, that's just because the universe is about to end. Am I through? I feel like I haven't loaded into the next area yet. There we go. Interesting. Interesting. Okay, that one's a fish. That one's giving me an error. Does that mean it's leading me back to Feldspar's camp, or does that mean there's something special over here as well? Alright, we'll give it one more go. Probably could have tried to speedrun it and see what's in that seed, but alas. Okay, alright. One more go and then we'll call it for the night. Good to know the scout is not the hack I wanted, but the scout is more helpful than I expected. I think between helping me get to Feldspar and then now just helping me scout out, is that a fucking fish or not? I think the scout is finally fully justifying its presence as a game mechanic. I know like it's been used in a bunch of ways so far that have been like, oh, that's kind of neat, but not to the point where I've been like, oh yeah, that's an essential part of the game. Because, you know, for the first, like, 10 or so hours of this playthrough, my reaction to the scout has been like, okay, yeah, there's a couple of puzzles where technically they've designed it to make the scout useful, but on its own conceptually, I don't know if the scout really needs to be here, aside from they designed some puzzles around it. This is absolutely getting to a point where it's like, God, it's not technically required to solve the puzzle, but boy, am I glad I have the scout. I think I'm intended to use the scout. Now that I'm actually doing it, I'm like, oh yeah, I should have been doing this the whole time. But it's not strictly required. And thus, the fact that I figured out, oh, that would be useful here, is really justifying the fact that the scout exists. I don't know if that makes any sense. I don't know if everyone was like, what do you mean? Yeah, no, just it's the scout. It's just a useful extra thing. But I don't know. As a game designer myself, I feel like, and especially in a game that's both, like, from what I understand, pretty low budget, and also, like, pretty tight. There's not a lot in this game that feels extraneous. The scout has, at times, felt like a thing of, that's a little bit extraneous. I don't know if we really needed it. And its usefulness on Dark Bramble specifically is like, okay, no, it is a very good thing to have in this game. In this instance, I don't think the scout will help me all that much. But as long as I just play it careful. Should be okay. And just like sharks and minnows, maybe hugging the wall is not the worst idea in the world. Surprised I haven't done that more already. I think it's just because the wall is so hard to see, and according to past Dark Bramble experience, my ship might just fucking explode if I touch the wall, so I've been very hesitant to, like, hug them. God, that one really looked like a fish, but that's just more brambles. God, I fucking hate it here. Alright, so the gimmick seems to be pretty much from any angle. You just have to tighten up your butthole and sail past. I think that's the bit. And if I'm wrong, I'll just die. Okay, I don't even see the red light. I'm gonna pick one where I can at least fucking see the red light. I can kind of see the red light. Let's just see what happens. And if I do bump into this one, I quit. Okay. Yeah, it is very much just like we specifically angled it in a way so that it will seem really scary, but as long as you don't touch the controls, you'll be okay. That's fun. I'll admit it, it's fun. I'm really glad there's no motion controls, or at least they're not turned on, because I have to move around to de-stress, and if it was Until Dawn situation where it's like if you move the controller, the anglerfish can hear that too, I'd just kind of I'd never play another game again. I don't think. Alright, here come the eggs. Do. If this just leads back to Feldspar's camp, I'm going to be sad. It didn't seem to be following the same directions as before. And also last time, we did not enter into like a second or third tier of seed and have only one fish we're dealing with, if that makes sense. So that location, I think, is a new one we haven't been to yet. Now, last time it was the one off to the left, but we might have technically... I don't know how the quantum ness of this location really works, so we might have technically come at it from a different angle. So we will definitely want to use the scouts to double check again, but we'll try this one on the left first. But let's first get in the middle of all these eggs, just so we can stay unbothered. Velocity, and then let's shoot a probe over at that thing. Sweet. Let's head on in. I got a good feeling about this. I know it showed us a little duplicate error on the map in the same way it did for Feldsparta's Camp, but I'm feeling confident. I think this is going to be a new thing. Still very curious if it's going to have both the escape pod and the vessel, or if this is only going to be one. But I've really got my fingers crossed this is going to be one of them. And then we will trust but verify that the top left one is our node and the bottom right is a fish. No, it's real far, but yeah, that's it. So this might take a second, because I want to stay slow, because we do know that other one is a fish. Let's start scooching in that direction. It looks like we'll be headed into a big center of brambles on our way in, but that's fine. God, yeah, I do feel bad about shit-talking the scout so much. I don't think I even did it that much, but I did it enough that I feel bad it's proving so useful for Dark Bramble. And, I don't know, this is an interesting one of, like, it wasn't really a puzzle, it was just... Like, technically, if I had trialed and errored it enough, it would have been frustrating, but eventually I would have found this. And technically, once I got in here, my first guess was top left, so I might have gotten through the game without even knowing that the bottom right is a fish. But figuring out that, oh, the scout's really useful for not having to go figure that shit out in person, I feel like I should have figured that out sooner, and I'm very glad that I figured it out now. And I also think it takes less, like, funky mechanics out of it, because I initially thought it was going to be... Ah, shit, there's more? I initially thought it was going to be shoot your scout to distract them, and then I was like, okay, well then I really have to figure out the radius of what's distracting for them and what's not. Okay, this looks like it's going to be a loop, so now I'm going to be... I mean, I'll just double check once it loads in. To see if it's going to be the same shit again. It is. So now I'm curious if I need to enter this seed from a different angle, if that matters this time. And also, can I shoot my scout into the seed? I haven't really tried that yet, and I've been worried that it's gonna crash the game. But I don't know, when I shot through the bramble on Timber Hearth, it was not too big of an issue. So yeah, first let's just see what happens. Yep. Hello. That's kind of fun. Oops. Hey, my ship didn't blow up immediately. That's a positive thing. Okay, so it always approaches from the same angle. That's interesting. Shit. If I fly in, what happens? Interesting. So now I'm curious. Now I've distracted it. The fish has changed locations, hasn't it?